Can't go over. I just want to make everybody aware. No big deal. All right, good evening and welcome to the City of Sunbury Council meeting. It is October 16th, 2024, 7:30 p.m. Would you please join me in a moment of silent prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance? Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor St. John.
Here.
Mr. Capel.
Here.
Mr. Strayer.
Here.
Mr. Nash.
Here.
Mr. Grumney.
Here.
Mr. Martin.
Here.
Mrs. Cooper. Here. 7 present.
We last met on October 2nd, 2024, and we're looking for a motion to approve the minutes.
I have a motion with a couple edits.
Okay, you got a motion?
I'll second the
A
motion.
second by Mr. Martin, motion by Mrs. Cooper.
Under the engineer's report, there's just a typo of Mr. to Mrs. Cooper.
Okay.
And under new business, there's just a typo with the motion for trick or treat night. It just forgot the T on the end of night. Thank you.
Any other edits or comments? Roll call?
Mrs. Cooper.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Grumney.
Yes.
Mr. Neff.
Yes.
Mayor St. John.
Yes.
Mr. Strayer.
Yes.
Mr. Capel.
Yes.
7 yeas.
We're on the visitors section. Are there any visitors that wish to speak with City Council? All right, thank you. We are on the committee reports. Mr. Neff?
Yes. Calling BSTNG Fire Department.
We got Lieutenant Cavaney in the house. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. I'm Lieutenant Cavaney, BSTNG Fire District. I've been with the district for about 10 years and total about 20 years in fire service. We just had a couple things here the chief wanted to touch base on. With time change coming up, November 1st, make sure we change the smoke detector batteries. And with the colder weather starting, everybody's starting to turn their furnaces on. We'd like to remind people of carbon monoxide detectors. It's one of the more common runs that go on this time of year. We've actually been going on quite a bit of the funny smell for the furnace get kicked on stomach for the first time. Just a reminder that they want one each level of the home, and they are good for 5 to 7 years. Same with the smoke detector. Smoke detector is about 10. We see them about 5 to 7 years as well. Plans for the new station are progressing. The bid opening is October the 25th, 1 o'clock at the station. And we had to extend it for a few weeks due to county plan review process. Also a reminder that our community open house is Sunday, October 27th from noon to 3 p.m. Check out our Facebook page for more information. We hope to see you there. That's all I've got.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments for Lieutenant Cavaney? Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you.
Any other committee reports, Mr. Neff?
Nothing to report.
Mr. Martin?
Not tonight.
All right. Mrs. Cooper?
Not tonight.
Mr. Capel?
We had a special edition services committee meeting tonight,
did.
and I won't belabor the point too much, but on the agenda tonight is approval for the 2025 streets program. Ms. Oldabrowski presented a layout of the roads that were being recommended for update in the 2025 program. So once again, kind of go back to what we said last time, we're looking at a $1.3 million total budget with funding from OPWC. Hopefully we'll have a competitive packet, but we need to have it in by 1st of November. So here we are tonight. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, we had a finance committee meeting tonight, and we started off, Ms. Steffen covered 2 budget topics. At first, the third review of the 2025 draft budget. Not very many changes from the last review, number 2. So things are moving along nicely with that. We had a discussion about some amended appropriations for the 2024 budget, talking about some operational and capital expenditures that needed to be addressed, and we did that. Deputy Chief Wade gave a very nice presentation on the vehicle lease versus purchase program for some police vehicles and had some excellent conversation about what's best for the city. And I think we have a clear idea of the direction that we may be addressing later in council tonight. And then back to Ms. Steffen, we went over section 139 updates, which involve really employee administrative types of rules that have been updated or being updated, many of them to be in line with the Fraternal Order of Police agreements that were agreed upon. And then lastly, just a quick review of year-to-date comparison reports and bank-to-book reconciliation in the check register. So very productive meeting and appreciate all the presenters. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grumney. Ms. Dreyer.
I do not.
All right. This is just a pre-read in terms of committee report. We do have a Planning and Zoning Commission meeting coming up on Monday. And there are at least 2 rezoning requests, public hearings, and we have a conditional use application that I know are on the agenda. With that said, we are on to the police report. Deputy Chief Wade.
Evening, Mayor, Council. So positive things coming from the new building. We're all in, everybody's getting excited, getting into their workspaces. So full operations at 220 North Columbus Street for the police department. Our open house is November the 7th. It'll be publicized with a flyer through our social media as well as postings. Some of the things though that when we moved in, we had some, just from the construction, some water leaks, some different things that happened. Tim Newman's roofing company came out, expedited service, and had that fixed in no time. Our storefront signage was done here by Sure Signs. Jared put our beautiful new Sunbury Police Department sign on the front of the building, and Survivor Electric was putting in the electric boxes for the lights to light the signs. We noticed the fixtures that we had got were a little bit not what we were looking for, so we returned those and got some that actually were a little less from Home Depot, and so those should be going up. Hopefully, we were hoping they will be done by now, but be the first of the week when they'll be up. So the Sunbury Police Department on the storefront will all be lit up. But the big things now is we're going through like overstock, antiquated equipment, trying to not use the new space with old stuff that's not being used and trying to sort through like anybody does when they move. So on a more important note, criminal events. So we always continue to talk about vehicles and car break-ins, and these criminals are looking for guns. Let's just face it, anything valuable, but right now they're looking for guns to the point where they're going through fire departments, parking lots, police departments, parking lots, scouting wherever they can to get in wherever guns may be in the car. I know there's criminal laws that apply to the safety and security of our firearm, but we get complacent. It's not a time for complacency. So just asking the public to pay specific attention to this and be the eyes and ears for us. We can't be everywhere. That's a great partnership with the community, just letting us know if there's something suspicious in your area. We have luckily deterred a majority of these. This was occurring around Sunbury. We're in Morrow and in the township around us, not so much in Sunbury. We did have a vehicle stolen from Kroger. However, the theft from motor vehicles seemed to be either deterred or they didn't come here. They went around us. But that doesn't mean that they will not come through here. So extra vigilance in that area. It seems like it's a broken record, but it's something that's important for the community to pay attention to. We had 2 pursuits. One was a suicidal individual here in town, and the other was an individual that had stolen a vehicle out of Worcester, decided to go to Kroger's and get some flowers and some alcohol, and was intercepted by our diligent officers doing work in the area. And with the assistance of Genoa Township, they were able to spike the tires of the vehicle and get this subject into custody, who had quite the rap sheet and is now being held on a $250,000 bond. Community engagements, our community engagement that we had at the end of Walnut Trail. I unfortunately had to miss it due to training. I heard I missed quite an eventful time. The chief was ear to ear telling me about the stories he had with the folks there. It's a great time. We enjoy that every year. Again, November 7th is our open house, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. there at 220 North Columbus. And then we have our Faith in Blue Red Cross blood drive on the 18th, noon to 6 p.m. at the Sunbury Methodist Church. If you can donate a gift of life, many need. So thank you. That's all I have. Any questions?
Questions or comments for DC Wade? I have one item. I typically don't like to single out or recognize individuals necessarily on public record, but I do think this warrants this. I had a chance to meet with Prosecutor Schiffel on Friday morning, and she just wanted to express her sincere gratitude to Detective Smith for his work on both the swatting case that is still ongoing and also on the Wendy shooting, even though that went to a jury trial and didn't necessarily pan out the way that the prosecution wanted. She had nothing but high regard in how he handled himself, laying out the timeline, the evidence, the level of professionalism. He was on the stand for several hours, if not days, speaking to that. And I just wanted to make sure to recognize Detective Smith. I think we've got, the cream of the crop in terms of detective here in Sunbury. He takes every case seriously, and please pass that along.
Absolutely will, and I echo your sentiments.
Thank you. You're on to the administrator report, Mr. Hennessy.
So just two items, one, building a little bit on the deputy chief's comments, at the open house, we'll do the same thing we did with the municipal building. So we'll have remarks at 4:30. So I encourage you to be there for the ribbon cutting and to hear the mayor's remarks regarding that. So, November 7th. And then just, highlighting one item that's in the administrator report. We do have a Safe Streets for All Town Hall, meeting tomorrow night at, in this building. From 4 to 7 p.m. It's an open house, so people can come and go as they please. Basically, what we're trying to do is get some feedback from residents regarding their concerns about, what it is in our streets or what it is about our streets that's not particularly safe, whether it's, vehicle, pedestrian, bicycle, whatever kinds of modes of transportation might be happening in and around our streets could be somewhat part of this particular project. So if you've got a chance and have some thoughts in terms of, what you'd like to see in the way of a safety program surrounding our streets, please stop by. There will be members of the committee as well as our consultant helping to facilitate that event. So that was all I was going to point out. Are there any questions, comments? All right, thank you.
Thursday, October 16th. How long have Ms. Odebrowski and Ms. Grafmiller been here? It's been
We're getting close to, is it 3 months? July, right? August, September, October. Oh, over 3 months. Oh, there you go. And end of the month be 3 months. There we go. I
I
can't.
think we should formally recognize Mr. Hennessy for onboarding two excellent staff at the same exact time in the middle of like peak season. Yeah, let's give it up. Of the administrator report, we don't give you thanks enough. You're the best. Very much care about you. Thank you. No, we'll do that at 90 days. We're on to the engineer's report, Ms. Odebrowski.
Thank you. My report has 4 updates. I'll skip over the first 2, the wastewater treatment plant expansion. I've mentioned that at the last few updates, so if you have questions, let me know. And then, of course, Mr. Capel summarized the 2025 street program. One of the new items on the report is the East Granville Street widening project. I wanted to at least start the conversation so that when I come on November 6th, you're aware that we'll be looking at the first reading for a design contract involving this project. It will be the widening of East Granville Street from Letts all the way to Morning Street. And then we'll also be putting a pedestrian bridge for the Ohio to Erie Trail. The project is projected to start in 2027, and we have 4.2 million in federal funds and 1.25 in state funds. So really big project, and we need to get started with design work and all the other work that is involved with the federal funding. So I'll be here to update you as we go through this process.
Yeah, and if I could just add, we will have that on the services committee agenda, so we'll talk about it in more detail before the first reading that evening.
Yes, thank you. And then the other item, my last topic, at my first update for the group, I had told you I was going to do a format that was similar to the administrator and the chief of police. So I now have this format for the engineer's update. But if you recall, there was a spreadsheet that had over 50 projects on it. I have organized that, and I wanted to let you know I have not forgotten that we are going to put it up on the OneDrive. And my goal will be to have that before the November 6th meeting. I'm happy for that first meeting to share it with you all, and we can walk through it. And then at that point, you can give me some additional feedback.
Great. Any comments or questions for Ms. Odebrowski?
Got one question. The bridge that's part of the widening and the project at State Route 37 from the Ohio to Erie Trail, is that the old bridge near Certified?
Yes.
I don't know where certified is, but yes, it's where the bridge abutments are located. So the bridge will go
Will that be
over.
coming down? Will that be removed or just redoing it?
We'll be
It will
putting new abutments
Yes.
and widening the road.
Yeah.
It will be new.
It will be.
But it will be safer, wider, nicer, but same location.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And that's, I think, what Carla is getting at, is we're working through a design consultant to begin to design the project itself. All of those issues will be a part of that design process. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe if there's any sentimental value with a large block or something, we can do something with that. That's what you were
Good
getting at?
idea. That's a good
I
idea.
can't remember exactly who told me that, but that is definitely on the radar. That I think some other communities have taken those and tried to set them aside for some future use. So, yeah. I think
We'll see
we'll
what
do
we
what we
can.
can to preserve those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are under resolutions. We have a third reading, resolution 2024.18, a resolution appointing a member to the Board of Trustees of Sunbury Meadows NCA pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 349.04. Looking for a motion.
Motion.
We got a, I think, yep, we got Ms. Cooper on the first. And we've got Mr. Grumney on the second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mrs. Cooper? Yes. Mr. Grumney?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Neff?
Yes.
Mayor St. John?
Yes.
Mr. Air?
Yes.
Mr. Capel?
Yes.
7 yeas.
Thank you. Motion passes. We are under resolution number 2020.
I'm sorry, but I just saw, it says a 2-term. Is it supposed to say a 2-year term?
Your term. Yeah.
Might want to amend that.
We got a motion by Mr. Martin to amend the resolution 2024.18. I'll make second. The amendment was to say
Add the word year between 2 and term.
the year between two and term. Or year between two and term.
Yeah.
Thank you. Got that on record. Roll call.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper? Yes. Mr. Grumney?
Yes.
Mr. Neff?
Yes.
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 All right, we have resolution number 2024.19, a resolution approving engineering services with CT Consultants relating to the wastewater treatment plant expansion. We do have the third reading. I believe we're looking to table this for now. So do we need a motion to table it? Or do I have authority to table?
Put it on the table, motion second and vote.
All right, I'll make a motion to table resolution 2024.19.
Second.
Second by Ms. Dreyer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mayor St. John?
Yes.
Mr. Air?
Yes.
Mr. Capel?
Yes.
Mr. Neff?
Yes.
Mr. Grumney?
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper? Yes. Mr. Martin?
Yes.
7 yeas.
Mr. Neff already had his one motion or second in an earlier meeting, so any more from him this evening.
You're rationing him.
All right, motion is tabled. Resolution is tabled. We are on the second reading. Resolution 2024.21, a resolution awarding the contract for the Walnut Street Stabilization Project to Ironside. Reading only, Mr. Hennessy. Got resolution 2024.22. This is also a second reading. A resolution authorizing the city administrator to partner with Berkshire Township and Delaware County engineer to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement Program and the local transportation improvement program in connection with South 3Bs and a K road improvement project and to execute agreements as required. We heard a little bit about this, I believe, in the services committee earlier this evening. And to summarize, it's not very much money. It builds a lot of goodwill and we may get a good project and state funding out of it. And we're looking to suspend the rules.
Correct. Motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules, Mr. Capel. Was that Mr. Martin? Mr. Neff on the second. We got a second by Mr. Neff. Discussion?
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Ms. Strayer,
Yes.
7 yeas.
Motion on resolution 2024.22.
A motion by Mr. Capel,
Second.
second by Mr. Neff. Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Ms. Strayer,
Yes.
7 yeas.
All right, motion passes. We've got first reading resolution 2024.23, a resolution authorizing the city administrator to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission state capital improvement and or local transportation improvement programs in connection with the 2025 street improvement project and to execute contracts as required. Mr. Hennessy, would you mind briefing, especially those who aren't on the services committee, just the urgency around this and the diligence that the service committee has done on this matter? Thank you.
So this is the annual request to the Ohio Public Works Commission for grant and or loan assistance to help the city with its next year's capital improvement program, its road program. As I think Mr. Capel indicated, we've reviewed the streets based upon the condition of the streets and recommended $1.3 million in street improvements for next year. In order to get the application in front of the OPWC in time, we actually need council's consideration this evening to basically fill out the paperwork and get that submitted. So unless there are questions, that's, I think, a high level of what we're trying to achieve.
Yep, you're right. I want to highlight some of the good work that the services committee did, our engineering staff, CT consultants, Mr. Hennessy, really focusing on safety improvements, especially in and around General Rosecrans Elementary and some of the sidewalk, I'll say, pedestrian access points. We're looking to pre-purchase, traffic beacons, the ones that flash, to be able to improve a couple different access points there. But also we're starting to take a look more holistically at, storm drains, curbs, which we've always done, but also sidewalks as well in and around the area. So with that said, I'd like to suspend the rules and I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Capel. Discussion. Roll call.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Ms. Strayer,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
7 yeas.
Make a motion on resolution 2024.23.
Second.
Second by Mr. Capel. Discussion. Roll call.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Strayer,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
7 yeas.
Resolution passes. Resolution number 2024.24, a first reading, a resolution authorizing the city administrator, I'm going to get this, to execute a grant agreement and other documents required by the state of Ohio through the Office of Budget Management for grant funding for a pedestrian bridge and related improvements to Granville Street as a segment of the Ohio to Erie Trail Extension Project. This is a first reading, reading only. We got ordinances up, third reading, ordinance number 2024.27, an ordinance accepting the petition for annexation of territory consisting of 6.4 plus or minus acres of land located in Berlin Township, Delaware County, known by Northport Place LLC, declaring an emergency. Any comments, questions? Looking for a motion on the emergency.
Motion.
We got a motion by Mr. Grumney. And we've got a second by Mrs. Cooper. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Ms. Strayer,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
7 yeas.
Looking for a motion on the ordinance, Mr. Neff.
I'll make a motion.
We got a motion by Mrs. Cooper. Second by Mr. Neff. Discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Ms. Strayer,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
7 yeas.
Ordinance passed. We have second readings. Ordinance number 2024.01.3, third amended. An ordinance amending the 2024 annual appropriations. We spoke quite a bit about this in finance. Ms. Stephanie, are you looking for an approval this evening?
Not necessarily, it can go to the third reading if you like.
Okay. Any comments, questions? We do have a third meeting in October. We can pass this. Okay. All right, ordinance number 2024.28, an ordinance accepting a petition for annexation of territory consisting of 60.836 plus or minus acres of land located in Berkshire Township, Delaware County, known by Lou Ann Medellin and Diamond Resources Corporation, and Richard L. Medellin Enterprises, Inc., and Diamond Resources Corporation, and declaring an emergency. This is a second reading. I do want to call out, they're coming to zoning next week. This is the Wilcox Group, the one that's doing the mixed use project, and per the pre-annexation agreement that we have with them is about building Four Winds Drive, which is a critical piece of infrastructure. I guess with that said, I'll make a motion to suspend the rules on this. I understand the importance, and if there's discussion, we can have it. Got a motion.
Second.
We got a second by Mr. Capel. Roll call.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Strayer,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper. Yes. Mr. Martin,
Yes.
7 yeas.
Make a motion on the emergency.
Second.
Got a motion or a second by Mr. Capel. Discussion. Roll call.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Strayer,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper.
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
7 yeas.
I'll make a motion on ordinance number 2024.28.
Second.
Second by Mr. Capel. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Strayer,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper.
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
7 yeas.
Right. All right, next item on the agenda, last ordinance. It's a second reading of ordinance number 2024.29. An ordinance approving the application of SGB Fund One LLC to rezone approximately 298.39 plus or minus acres of property owned by Forrest J. Hale, Marilyn R. Hale, John E. Evans, and Linda K. Evans, located on Vans Valley Road, from not zoned to limited industrial district pursuant to the City of Sunbury zoning code. This is a reading only. Okay. Right, thank you. We have no first readings. We are on to new and unfinished business. Ms. Dreyer.
I don't think I have any this time.
Just reminder, I don't know if we were supposed to bring something up about the cruisers.
I have that on my new and
Okay.
unfinished business, waive competitive bidding lease program. Do we want to start there now? I defer to you. No, please, sir.
Please, I,
Probably good for me maybe to speak to it. This was discussed in the finance committee. DC Wade presented that the police department has a lease program that's been presented to them by Crown of Dublin. Allows them to obtain potentially 6 police vehicles under a lease program. That lease program provides for equal payments over the term of the lease, which is 5 years.
Correct.
But we have all the vehicles immediately, allows them to be procured, outfitted. Because of supply chain and other issues, we're having a very difficult time obtaining vehicles. Pricing is very competitive. We don't know how long they will hold these vehicles for us. We need to have legislation that needs to be, it needs to waive competitive bidding. I will have that for you at your October 30th meeting. But to show some type of intent to Crown, it's my suggestion that we do a motion tonight. I would suggest maybe something along the lines of a motion to authorize the city administrator to notify Crown of Dublin of the city's intent to waive competitive bidding and purchase 6 police vehicles for $44,445 each, contingent upon final legislative approval at your October 30th, 2024 council meeting.
I wrote down to authorize administrator.
But I'm curious about the use of the word purchase in there.
That's all you.
It's a lease, not a purchase.
Because you're right, that's the terminology they're using.
Right,
So I think it should say lease.
okay.
So I'll make a motion.
A motion by Mr. Dummy, a strong
I will second.
motion and a strong second.
Yeah.
Ms. Dreyer on the second discussion. Thank you for all your work, Ms. Steffen, DC Wade. I know you put a lot of time into this. We've talked about this for months now, evaluating options. And I know the chief isn't feeling too well tonight, but he'd be here as well. Want to thank him, but you know, you spearheaded this. Thank you again.
I appreciate your all's time and letting us come in and explain it. It's not an interesting topic at times, but it's a viable one. So thank you.
Put together that nice PowerPoint.
Dana.
Good job, Stefan. Take the complex and good work. Good. Excellent. We're looking for a roll call.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Ms. Strayer,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
7 yeas.
Any other new or unfinished business? All right.
Nothing here.
All right. Super.
Yes, on Thursday, October 10th, I went to another Leadership Delaware event. And this one they call Tour Day. And so we stopped at 6 places in one day. We met at like 8 and we were done at 3. So I was talking to my husband on the way home and he's like, there's no way you did all that in one day. We did. We went to Perkins Observatory. We went to Stratford Ecological Center, Delaware County Fairgrounds, Boardman Arts Park, Shale Hollow, and Alum Creek.
All in one day.
All in one day.
Wow.
School bus. And I hadn't been to Perkins Observatory, Stratford Ecological Center before. So those were interesting, but each one was interesting and you got to see just how the different parts of Delaware County are working together and meet some interesting people. So, and I had shared this with the mayor and DC, but there's 63 people in our class and I knew one going in. And as I'm getting to know more and more folks, they all have only good things to say about Sunbury, the people they work with. Many people know Daryl, they know Chief DC Wade, they know Wes, they know Dan, they know Joe. It's been very cool. Everyone has said great things. They love working with Sunbury. So I'm proud to represent Sunbury there.
That's great. Thank you very much for representing us. Excellent. Mr. Martin.
This is a very tongue-in-cheek comment, but Deputy Chief Wade, you don't need to dress up like that to come to one of our meetings.
Who knows? Maybe he was meeting with some federal agents.
Well, that might be it. I'm sorry, I hadn't considered beyond here.
This is, I mean, you're pulling a double shift here. This isn't just showing up for a council meeting like we do. The entire staff, by the way. Good deal. Mr. Nick.
Yeah, something I'm hearing some buzz about that I kind of wanted to bring up to your attention with AEP. Starting to get hear a lot of people complaining about these brief power outages. And I think it's something, I know a few months back, maybe a year back, we looked into the issue. We talked to AEP came in here and they resolved it. We didn't have any issues at all, but now that's starting to reappear and I'm seeing it all over Facebook of a couple times a day. Power goes out, people are on their Zoom meetings, they're kicked out of their meetings and have to start back up. So something you could look into.
I agree with that. I've definitely noticed it over the past like 6 weeks or so. I mean, it seems like the days it does do it, it happens 2 or 3 times for whatever reason. And I'm not seeing trucks working in the area, but it seems, I know for a fact it's affecting the west side of Sunbury. Is it affecting the east side as well?
Haven't noticed it as much on my side. No.
And I know that they're kind of on 2 different grids, but Sunbury Meadows, Price Ponds,
Mills,
Rolling
I'm
Hills.
hearing.
Bruce, you're probably seeing it over there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I was there for
3
2.
times today.
That's right. Yeah.
I got actually 2 emails today from AEP saying I was out, I mean, I was at work, but saying that I was out of power. And then we come back on and I got another notice email saying off again. So I don't know.
Yeah, I forget what synchronicity means, but I'm just gonna use it. I think it's synchronicity that AEP reached out to us, our government affairs rep today and said, hey, Mayor, how's it going? First, you're invited to this thing. And second of all, you know, we want to check to see if you need anything. I mean, maybe that's coincidental. I don't know. But maybe they're like, hey, we need to reach out and touch base and talk about what's going on.
We'll follow up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Because it had gotten better there for quite a while.
It always goes through cycles though, right? Ever since the new communities started coming up, you'll have a period where it's all fine and then you got a period where you have outages of the blips, right?
Excuse me.
Yeah,
And then it'll be fine for a while again.
right.
Rick, do you remember where that line is where they're on a different grid?
It's Route 3, pretty much.
Okay.
Route 3, yeah. Yep. All right, anything else, Mr. Neff? That's it. All right, I just had a couple of things. We already hit waive competitive bidding. 2 items. Director Volanek reached out to me from Delaware County Transit, just thanking us for having him last meeting. I want to say I love that guy, by the way, like his passion, like he's meant for that job. I think I said that on record twice now. But they did start service this week. I can tell you, it wasn't working last week because we didn't start, but I was already logged into the app, ready to register a ride. And I was like reaching out to Daryl, hey, I think something's not right. And he's like, I think the app's working. It starts next week. So I just haven't had time to take a ride this week, but I have seen their nice vehicles rolling through and they're really sharp. So we got like the cream of the crop, the new fleet. I do want to take a ride. It's super easy to sign up on their app. Delaware County Transit comes right up on whatever app store and you like log a payment method similar to if you've taken an Uber or Lyft or something. And it tells you like when you want picked up, where you want picked up, where you want dropped off. So I'm really excited. Has anybody taken a trip yet?
Not.
Okay,
No, but it's also easy to add passengers too.
that's right.
I was going to ride, so my son and Nancy's son, they played football and both our kids are homeschooled, so we have to take them to the school for practice. And I was gonna ride with them, so they felt comfortable. They're 15, they said they were fine, so they didn't need me, but it was easy to add passengers to it, so.
Awesome. Perfect. Time is at 8:07. Told Murray 39 minutes, so I'm gonna kill another 90 seconds here. Last thing I had was one of the really cool events that's done both, I mean, it's primarily a school fundraiser, I think, for the PTO. It's the Big Nut Strut. And one of the really cool things that came out of the pandemic is somehow I've been nominated to like lead that. And I could never lead it as a runner, but I ride my bike ahead of the runners. And man, I love that event. And it was so well attended this year. I mean, I don't know what their numbers were, but it's so cool seeing families and you know, grandparents and little kids like walking. They've got 2 different tracks. One's a mile and one's a 5K. But if you are ever mayor in the future, you will get to be the pace setter, which is really cool. No, she didn't this year. She had cheerleading coach, but yeah, it was awesome. So I'm just trying to kill another 15 seconds or so. Win this. Oh yeah, that's right. All right, I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
So we have a meeting
The
that
second by Mr. Grumney. Discussion,
we will be
roll call.
meeting on October 30th.
October 30th. We've got a meeting.
Okay.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Grumman,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Ayer,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.